Over the next 12 minutes or so, I'm going to predict exactly how this year's NASCAR season is going to play out. How's it going, everybody? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. And this is officially the last episode before the season starts. That's right, we made it through nearly 3 cold, dire months without cars going in circles. And that's all about to change. But of course, I've been promising this for a few episodes now. Today is Prediction Day. And I know, it's a little early to be talking about the playoffs, the round of 12, the round of 8, all that type of stuff. But we're going to get into that today because I figured, you know what? I haven't got a head start on anything else I've planned to do this year, so why not at least get a head start on my playoff predictions? So yeah, I know it's early, things are obviously going to change, we really don't know what to expect going into the season with so many new faces and new places, but I figured, hey, what the heck, let's make some wild predictions here on, the second week of February. What do I have to lose? I don't have any credibility. So I'll start small. Firstly, I'm going to go ahead and make my predictions for this weekend's Clash at Daytona. We have 16, 17 drivers competing in that thing? And now you might think this is kind of a boring or unpopular pick, but I'm going with Denny Hamlin. The dude's won this race before. Now granted, they are running the Clash during the day this time, whereas in most of years past, they've been running this race, whether it's called the Bud Shootout, Sprint Unlimited, they've been running it at night. Denny Hamlin, though, has won this race at night before, and he's won the Daytona 500 during the day before. I think he just generally knows how to be a decent plate racer. He's driving a good Toyota for JGR. I'm picking Denny Hamlin to win the Clash. It's a non-points race, doesn't really mean anything. It's just fun. It's what the All-Star race should be. But enough about that. That's not that much fun. Let's make some really wild predictions. So looking ahead, 6-7 months to mid-September when the playoffs start, here are the 16 drivers that I am predicting will make it to the playoffs. Jimmie Johnson, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Erik Jones, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, Clint Bowyer, Jamie McMurray, Alex Bowman, and Ryan Newman. And so I know what's going through your heads. Who did I leave out? Who did I snub? Well, this was actually a pretty tough list to make, I gotta say. Drivers like Paul Menard, Daniel Suarez, Casey Kane, Stenhouse, Austin Dillon, I don't have them making the playoffs this year. I know a couple of them have made it in the years past, but I don't think they're going to make it in this year. Now, there is one maybe kind of notable snub that y'all might have picked up on, and that leads me to what I'm calling my first big, bold prediction for this season. And that is, I don't think Kurt Busch is going to make the playoffs. I know, what am I thinking? Oh my god, he's a former champion. Oh, he won the Daytona 500 last year. What are you thinking, you madman? But just hear me out, I have my reasons. Last season, Kurt Busch won the season-opening Daytona 500 in dramatic fashion with the damaged race car. Did an incredible job. Great race, great win. And with NASCAR's dopey playoff format, that automatically locked him into a playoff spot. But after the Daytona 500, that 41 team was pretty mediocre. I would even say arguably subpar for almost the rest of the regular season. They turned it around a little bit later in the summer, but for the most part they spent the whole regular season somewhere between 14th and 17th in the overall point standings. And once the playoffs ultimately started, they didn't go anywhere and he was out in the first round. And now I like Kurt Busch a lot. This is a very tough decision because if I pull back up my list of the 16 drivers who I have getting in there, you look at some of those drivers at the bottom of the list, guys like Bowman, Newman, some of those dudes, it was very difficult for me to decide. Ultimately, I decided who gets in based on one simple fact. And that is the fact that Kurt Busch is driving a Ford. And I don't think Ford's gonna have that great of a season this year. Now don't get me wrong, I don't think Fords are gonna be bad. I think, Penske's still gonna probably have some championship contenders over there. Stewart Haas, probably Harvick's still gonna be really good. I'm just not feeling it, specifically with a couple drivers like Kurt Busch. And I'm just looking, Kurt Busch is a veteran of the sport. He's had a very up and down career, from winning a championship early on with Roush, to then being out of the sport for a couple of years, to then coming back on smaller teams, working his way up, now once again at a good team and a good ride and having some success. I just think he might be kind of on his final decline, unfortunately. I don't doubt that Kurt Busch can still win races as a driver. I just don't know that team, and especially since it is a Ford team, and we think about it, Toyota's just introduced their new Toyota Camry last season and was really good. Chevy just introduced the new Chevy Camaro to their cars this year, which I think is going to be a benefit to them. Ford is still running the same basic car they ran in 2013, so they haven't really made any changes in quite a long time. So anyway, that's my first big, bold prediction. Let me know what you guys think on that one. I don't know. Maybe y'all agree, maybe you won't. It'll be interesting. Now, the second of my big, bold predictions that you might have already picked up on is that I think all 4 Hendrick cars will make the playoffs this year. I was really on the fence about Alex Bowman. It's not that I doubt him as a driver. He did pretty well in the 88, the few races he ran 2 years ago. I just doubt that team. The 88 has not been a very good race car in a couple of years, so I was doubting the team more than I'm doubting Alex Bowman. But I decided to put him in large part because he is driving the new Chevy, and I think this is a good chance for Hendrick Motorsports to turn themselves around a little bit from what was kind of a mediocre year for the organization last year. I think they're going to come back very strong this year, so that's why I went ahead and put Bowman in. William Byron, I know he's a rookie, he's completely unproven. I think he's going to make some noises this year. I really do. In fact, my third big bold prediction is that William Byron wins at least one race this season in his rookie year. And y'all may be saying, oh, that's not that bold. William Byron, he won the Xfinity Championship last year. He's really good. Why is that a bold prediction? Well, if you ignore Chris Buescher's rain-shortened luck win he got in 2016, it's been 7 years since a rookie won in a race in the Cup Series in their rookie season. That was Trevor Bayne back in the Daytona 500 in 2011. It's been 7 years. And I talked about this a couple episodes ago, how I compared it to the old generation versus the new generation. But yeah, Chase Elliott didn't win in his rookie year. Kyle Larson didn't win in his rookie year. Those are some big names who are having success today, now 2, 3, 4 years down the road, but they didn't have success in the rookie seasons. I think William Byron will be the exception. I think Byron's going to come out and win a race, at least one race. I think he'll make the playoffs his rookie year, and we'll see where it goes from there. So yeah, anyway, you see my round of 16 right there. Let's go ahead and move ahead. Who's making it to the round of 12? For my round of 12, I have Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Erik Jones, and Kyle Larson. And I should also go and note, this isn't really in any order, like best to worst. This is just, while I was at lunch typing this up, it's just the order they came to mind, I guess, or whatever. Yeah, so in other words, the 4 drivers I have being eliminated are Alex Bowman, Ryan Newman, Jamie McMurray, and Clint Bowyer. I forgot my list for a second there. And if you ask me, I think this is a fairly reasonable prediction. I mean, Jamie McMurray, I love Jamie McMurray, but he's never going to make it that far in the playoffs. He's consistent, which will get you in the playoffs, but he's just not good enough to really move on very far. I have Newman being eliminated, kind of like what happened this last year. I got Alex Bowman. Like I said, Bowman, I was really on the fence about even getting him into the playoffs. I went ahead and put him in there. I don't think he makes it out of the first round. And then same with Clint Bowyer. He didn't make the playoffs this last year, but he was pretty consistent most of the season. I think he races a little better this year, but he is a Ford on Stewart-Haas Racing, kind of like Kurt Busch. I think he's going to barely sneak into the playoffs, so I don't have him moving on. Anyway, that's my early prediction there. Nothing too bold about that one, I don't think. Moving on to the round of 8, I have Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, and Chase Elliott. Yeah, that's a pretty good list right there. Not too different from what we saw this last season, I will say. I'm not being super original, but there's 1 or 2 new names in here. So going into the round of 8, I have Erik Jones, Brad Keselowski, William Byron, and Ryan Blaney all being eliminated. And this is where some people might disagree with me, because my 4th big bold prediction is that Brad Keselowski, after making it to the Championship 4 last year, won't even make it to the round of 8. And again, I know you guys are probably in shock. You're spinning around in your chair. You're on the floor rolling around in agony. You have no idea why I would make such a prediction. And this is one where, to be honest, I don't really have a real hard factual reason why this would occur. I'm going with my gut more than anything. You look at 2017, Brad Keselowski was the best driver for Team Penske, but Penske as a whole organization didn't seem quite as good as they'd been in years past, specifically with Joey Logano. Now for 2018, I have Joey Logano moving all the way to the round of 8, whereas he didn't even make the playoffs last year. I think he's gonna make it to the round of 8. I'm kind of, in my rationale in my head is that I'm flip-flopping the two. Keselowski was a little better last year. This year, I think Logano's going to be a little better, which means I think Keselowski maybe doesn't make it quite as far. He's going to have to get through the Charlotte Roval. He's going to have to do something amazing at Talladega again like he did this last year if he wants to move on, and I just don't think he's going to get it done this year. That's my prediction. Erik Jones, Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney might be a little surprising because he did make it to the round of 8 this last year, and he was with Wood Brothers. Now he's going to be with Penske. You'd think he'd be better now that he's with Penske. I think Ryan Blaney kind of caught lightning in a bottle this last year, getting all the way to the round of 8. He snuck in there. He had a great season. I don't think he's going to be any worse this year. I just think circumstances are going to prevent him from catching lightning in a bottle again, like I said, and moving on to the round of 8. I just think there's just too much competition out there. I just don't think he's going to get it done. And the same basically goes for Erik Jones and William Byron. William Byron, I have him as a rookie, winning at least one race and making it to the round of 12, which would be a great rookie season. And for Erik Jones, it's his 2nd season, but it's his 1st season in a really, really great car. So again, Erik Jones, I think he probably wins a race and makes it to the round of 12, but I don't think either of them will be moving on to the round of 8. They'll probably do that in the next couple of years, but just not this year. So now it's down to the moment I'm sure you've all been waiting for. I know it's like, 9-10 months away until we get to mid-November, but here are the drivers I think will be representing NASCAR in the Championship 4 in November. I have, drumroll please, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, and Martin Truex Jr. Did you like that pause for dramatic effect? No. Truex, I have him making it to Homestead once again. So the 4 I have being eliminated are Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, and Denny Hamlin. And now this is a really tough prediction because part of me almost put Kevin Harvick in there because he's good at Texas and he's good at Phoenix, and those are both in the round of 8. And I almost put Hamlin in there because he's really good at Martinsville. But ultimately I went with 2 or 3 pretty familiar faces to the championship 4, and then I threw in Chase Elliott because, as I've talked about in past Out of the Groove episodes, had the shenanigans at Martinsville not happened where Hamlin dumped Chase Elliott, had that not happened, Chase Elliott would have been in the championship 4. And I tend to think Chase Elliott's going to continue to improve from last year to this year, so he's only going to be better, I think. So that's kind of where I was at there. The 2 Fords I had left, Harvick and Logano, I had them missing out mainly because they are Fords, and I don't think they're going to have the power that the Chevys and the Toyotas have, especially when we go to those big tracks like Texas, and I'll get to Homestead here in a second. Kyle Larson might be the driver I am most intrigued by going into 2018. He had such a big breakout 2017 season where he won 4 races, made the playoffs, looked like the championship favorite until he had just a string of bad luck and bad mistakes by his team and issues, mechanical issues, that ultimately took him out of contention. I'm really curious to see how he bounces back in 2018. Are they going to be as dominant as they were before? Are they going to be better? Is he going to be the runaway championship favorite? I'm not sure. So he was eliminated in the round of 12 last year. I'm afraid to put him all the way to Homestead this year because he's got to do a lot right, and they didn't do it last year. So I'm putting him somewhere in the middle. That's why I think he makes it to the round of 8, but I just don't. When I think Kyle Larson, I don't think of him being outstanding at Martinsville, Texas, or Phoenix, the 3 round of 8 tracks. So that's why I think Larson maybe he doesn't make it this year. But anyway, enough about that. Let's move on. Who will be the champion? Looking at the championship 4, we got Truex and Kyle Busch, who've both won championships recently. We have Jimmy Johnson, who's, of course, 7-time. And then I put Chase Elliott in there, this would be his first championship 4 appearance, I guess. And as for those 4 drivers, this is a really tough decision, but I'm going to stick with a relatively consistent theme I've had throughout these predictions, and I'm going to go with Jimmy Johnson. I know, what a shocker. I'm sticking with the theme that the Chevys are going to be really good. I think it's going to be a Toyota versus Chevy battle, especially when we get late into the playoffs. And at Homestead, it's a horsepower-oriented track. All 4 of those drivers I just named are pretty much outstanding. They're all pretty equal in driving talent, I will say. I think it's going to come down to crew chiefs, and say what you will about Chad Knaus. I don't really like him. He's a genius. He's been doing it better than anyone for 20 years almost now. So I think Jimmy, they'll get their car suited up right. I think he's going to be able to get it done with the new car, new body, new all that stuff. I think Jimmy Johnson wins number 8. To be honest, Jimmy's got at least a couple, 2, 3, 4 more years left in his career. I'd be shocked if he doesn't win his 8th championship. I think this is the best year to do it. Like I said, new Camaro, new car. Well, I mean, we saw in 2015 when Toyota introduced their new Camry, Kyle Busch won the championship. Last year when Toyota introduced another new Camry, Martin Truex won the championship. You know, it's been a while since Chevy introduced a new car. They're doing it this year. I think a Chevy wins the championship. Which Chevy driver's got the most championship experience? Jimmy Johnson. It's basic math. But anyway, I think it'll be a pretty intense battle. I think Martin Truex Jr. is not going to really take a step backwards from last season. He might not win 8 races again, but he'll definitely be a multi-time winner and he'll be a threat. Kyle Busch will be a threat as always. Chase Elliott, I expect him to finally win some number of races this year. I don't know if he's going to win 5. In fact, I doubt that, but I'll bet he wins 2 to 3 races this year. It's about time. So anyway, there you have it. My long-winded, very elaborate predictions for the 2018 season. Now, I didn't go week by week and pick each individual race winner. I'll do that throughout the season as the episodes come out. But there's my early championship picks and playoff picks. Now, that's probably going to change throughout the season, but here we are. Season hasn't started yet. Don't know what to expect. That's what I got for you. So let me know if you agree or disagree. And thanks for watching. I ran a poll on Twitter earlier this week asking you all which manufacturer you think will be the best in 2018, and I was actually a little surprised to see how many people said Chevy. I would have thought Toyota would be a little closer, but a lot of people are really hopping on the Chevy bandwagon. I guess I kind of am too. I think they're going to be tough to beat, but I don't know if they're going to be that tough to beat. And yeah, Ford. Sorry, Ford. You'll have your time. Maybe they'll bring the Mustang in a NASCAR or something sometime soon. Maybe that'll help out. I don't know. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for participating in that survey. You can follow me on Twitter @DexRacing to participate in the next ones and ask me questions, talk to me on there. That's always fun. But anyway, thanks for watching. The Clash is this weekend. The season is officially starting. And I'm extremely excited to see how it goes. So have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you again next week.